Okay guys, so for today's video, we're here at Smyrna Lodge 532 in Ceres, California. With me is our inspector for 442nd Masonic District of California, a very worthy, worshipful brother, Romy Damiles. So for today's event is their annual installations of officers for the ensuing Masonic year 2022. Ready.
There he is.
Good to see you again, bro. See you.
Thomas. How you doing?
Good to see you again.
Greetings.
Worshipful.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, our chaplain just arrived. We're sitting there talking, and he's going to read the prayer.
We took a vote,
Worshipful.
you lost.
Congratulations.
Took a vote, you lost.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming. I would like to introduce our installation officer, Eugene Cripe, and our master of ceremonies, Randy Dickey.
Thank
They will be doing everything for us today. Again, thank you all for coming.
Let the master of ceremony of this lodge lately chosen, present, and ready to be installed as the respective offices.
They are without, worshipful sir, and await your pleasure.
You will then conduct them to the seats prepared for them. According to the teachings of our institution, it is our duty before entering upon any great or important undertaking to invoke the aid and blessing of God. Let us therefore reverently unite with our chaplain and express to the throne of grace.
Great architect and ruler of the universe, we reverently invoke thy blessing at this time. Grant us thine aid in our present undertaking, that all we may do shall be done with an eye single to thy service and to the good of Freemasonry. May those who are now about to be invested with the government and conduct of this lodge be endued with wisdom to instruct their brethren in their duties, and may they be continually guided by the unerring counsel which thou hast given in the great book of nature and revelation. May brotherly love, relief, and truth always prevail among the members of this lodge. May they be impressed with a comprehension of their duty to thee and to each other, that this lodge may be the means of lasting good in this community, and to thee we shall ascribe all the honor and glory. Amen.
So more it be.
Matthew Nelson, a member of Lodi D. will now present the flag. Will you please join with me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag of our country?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, sir, the officers of this lodge lately chosen are present and ready to be installed in their respective place of office.
You will then present the brothers with their appointed title of this lodge.
Merciful sir, I present to you for installation Brother West, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Brother West, you've been appointed title of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hand of the title, to enable him effectively to guard against the approach of cowards and eavesdroppers, and suffer none to pass or repass, except such as are duly qualified, so should admonish us to set a guard over our thoughts, watch our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every pair to your proper place. For the master of ceremonies, you will now present the senior and junior students. We don't have to. There you go.
First of all, sir, I present to you for installation brothers Greenfielder and Nelson, who have been appointed senior and junior deacons of this lodge.
Brother Greenfielder and Nelson. I knew you. You've been appointed deacons in this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewels of your office. Those jewels indicate that it's your promise to attend upon the master and warden and act as their proxies in the active duties of this lodge. For your special duty, brother senior deacon, to carry orders from the worship master in the east to the senior warden in the west and elsewhere about the lodge as required. Attend to all alarms at the door of the preparation room, receive and conduct candidates, introduce and accompany to the president. You, brother junior deacon, to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior in the south and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. Attend to all alarms at the door and see the lodge duly tiled. Now I'm relieving from your past appointment in the lodge that your duties will be discharged with ability and zeal, and dismiss you to your respective places. So after ceremony, you will now present the treasurer-elect.
First of all, sir, I present to you Brother Calvert, who has been elected treasurer of this lodge.
Brother Calvert, you've been elected treasurer of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office.
Oh, yours?
The keys have a twofold significance. They are instruments to bind as well as to make loose, to make fast as well as to open. They will never, I am confident, be used by you in any other manner than that which the Constitution, laws, and regulations of the lodge shall direct. You will receive all money from the treasurer and secretary, keep a just and accurate account thereof, and pay the same amount by order of the worship master with the consent of the law. You will now take your proper place. To the Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Junior Warden-elect.
Worshipful Sir, I present to you for installation Brother Babe, that has been elected to serve as Junior Warden of this lodge. This certificate vouches for his proficiency. And this one is for the senior deacon.
Well, we got you anyway. Okay. Yep. Okay, now we got you. Okay. Brother Babe, you've been elected Junior Warden of this lodge, and you will be invested with the jewel of your station. That one, my brother, demonstrates that that's true. How about back up? That plumb, my brother, admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations before God and man, to observe the scales of justice in equal poise, to hold a just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to make our passions and prejudices coincide with the line of our duty. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is necessary, therefore, that you should practice moderation and discretion in the indulgence of your own inclination, and that you carefully observe that the means of refreshment are not converted to improper or excessive use. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and I have no doubt that you will faithfully execute the duties which you owe to your personal. Look well to the south. After ceremonies, you will present the Senior Warden-elect.
Worshipful Sir, I present to you for installation Brother Cisco, who has been elected Senior Warden of this lodge. He is of good morals, true and trusty, and possesses the love and confidence of his brethren. This certificate vouches for his proficiency.
Brother Cisco, you have been elected Senior Warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. That well, my brother, demonstrates that we are descended from the same stock, that we partake of the same nature, and share the same hope, and that although distinction among men are necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest fork of fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard, because a time will come, and then rises know not how soon, when all distinctions save that of goodness shall cease, and the depth, the mighty level of human greatness, reduces to the same state. Your regular attendance on our stated meetings is essential. In the absence of the master, you are the governor of the lodge. In his presence, you are to assist him in the government of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of masonry and attachment to the lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of this important trust. look well to the west.
We got somebody important coming.
Brother Master Ceremonies, you will now present the brother who has been elected to discharge the important duties of master of this lodge.
Worshipful sir, I take pleasure in presenting to you Brother Moore, who has been elected to serve as master of this lodge. This certificate vouching for his proficiency is evidence he is well skilled in our ancient craft. I know him to be of good morals, true and trusty, and as a lover of the fraternity, I doubt not that he will discharge his duties with fidelity and with honor.
First, sir, the brother of this lodge, imposing confidence in your integrity, in your zealous regard for the interests of masonry, and in your ability to discharge the duties of the master chair, have chosen you to occupy that honorable position during the ensuing year. Accept this important trust.
I am.
And my brother, I shall cheerfully proceed to install you in a dignified and honorable position to which the sufferings of your brethren have called you. Not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interest and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investure, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the master of the lodge. Here is lodge number 532. Right? The master of ceremonies. You will invest it with the jewel of his station. That square, my brother, is an emblem of morality, and as it is the special badge of the master's office, it should constantly remind you that not only by precept, but by example, you should promote good morals among the rest, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands, and I solemnly charge you to take good care that its luster be not dimmed through any act of yours. I will now present to you the Book of Holy Writings.
Okay.
It is a great light masonry, and should ever be the great law of the brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth. It will direct you to eternal happiness. And an intended regard for the divine precept it contains will assure you success in the fulfillment of the duties you are now about to assume. The working tools of the craft will thus be presented to you, and as the master workman, you may instruct the craftsman in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. Square teaches us well to regulate our every action and to let our conduct be governed by the principles of morality and virtue. The compass teaches us to limit our desires in every station and never to suffer our passions or our prejudices to become the masters of our drug. The rule directs us the unneeding discharge of all our duties, that we should press forward in a straight path of right and truth without inclining to the one hand or the other, in all our doings having eternity in view. The plum is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissimulation and to pursue that honest and upright course in life which will tend to our elevation in the higher realms of the morality. There are still other things you will receive in charge. This book of constitutions. You're expected diligently to search, and from time to time to cause its contents to be read in your law. that none may remain ignorant of the precepts and things enjoined or of the ordinances it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of your lodge, which will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually executed. And this is the charter and the authority of which your lodge is held, and which you are carefully to preserve and duly transmit to your successor in the master's chair. For the master's ceremony, you will conduct the master to his station in the east. I congratulate you on your ascension to this time-honored seat. The duties incumbent on your exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will assuredly depend upon the skills and lucidity with which you manage its concerns, and the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the watchful care with which you cherish the genuine principles of our institution. For pattern living, you are too well acquainted with the principles of masonry to warrant any distrust that you will be found wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice it to say that what you have seen praiseworthy in others, you should carefully imitate, and what in them may have appeared defective, you yourself should avoid. You should be examples of discretion and propriety. For it is only by due regard to the laws and regulations as shown in your conduct that you can expect obedience to them from others. You are citizenry to assist the master in the discharge of his trust. With using light and imparting knowledge to all of the master, you will succeed to higher duties. Your requirements must therefore be such as to ensure proper instruction to your craft. Smyrna Lodge. 532. Members of the lodge will please rise. Smyrna Lodge, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some of us of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers who you have chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the laws of society and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the power which they have been entrusted. And you are too generous disposition to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have but one aim, to please one another and unite in a grand design of promoting happiness. I remember, as this association has been formed and perfected, and so much unanimity and concord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which disinterested friendship come forward. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as masons. But in your peaceful now remains for me to present to you the gavel, the emblem of power. In the hands of the master, it may be made the instrument of great good or of great evil. With it, the master governs his lodge, and the welfare and prosperity of your lodge in great measure depend upon its vicissitudes. With your hand, I am confident it will be wielded for the best interest of your brother. Brother Master Servants, you will now make proclamation.
By order of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of California, I now proclaim the officers of Smyrna Lodge number 532 to be duly installed.
brethren will, under the direction of the Master of Ceremonies, salute the worshipful Master by a battery of 3 times 3.
Together, brethren.
Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your master.
Welcome and thank you all for attending the ceremonies today for the installation of the officers of Smyrna Lodge number 532 for the 2022 Masonic year. Addressing my brethren, it gives me great pleasure to be elected as your master for the ensuing year of 2022. I deeply appreciate the honor and responsibility that you have entrusted to me. I will be looking to my brethren officers as well as brethren of the Smyrna Lodge 532 for assistance in our endeavors and any challenges that we may face throughout the next year. I am confident that we shall have a successful year. That said, as my first order of business of the new term as master, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the new officers of Smyrna Lodge 532 for the 22 Masonic year. Please hold your applause until after all of the introductions. As I read your name, will you please stand, and if you have family or friends here, introduce them as well. Senior Warden, Worshipful Guy Cisco.
And my wife, Karen.
Treasurer, Worshipful Al Palmer.
Al Calvert and my wife Darlene.
Senior Deacon. Worshipful Scott Greensfelder.
I'm so little tonight, the boss stay home.
Junior Deacon, Doug Nelson.
Hello, Father Nelson, my son Malcolm Nelson.
Tyler, Billy West.
I'm over.
Junior Warden, Tom Day.
Worshipful.
Worshipful. And I should have introduced Randy and Eugene here as worshipful as well. And by the way, they are from Turlock Lodge number 236. Would the past masters of Smyrna Lodge 532 please stand when I call your name? Worshipful Guy Cisco, 2017 and 2018. Worshipful Scott Greensfelder, 2016, 2019. Worshipful Alvin Calvert, 2014 and 2015. Worshipful Tom May, 2005. Thank you, gentlemen. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to all of the people that helped make this afternoon a success. When I call your name, please stand. And if you have a family and guests, introduce them. Installing Officer, Worshipful Gene Cripe, of Turlock, number 236. Installing Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful Randy Dickey, of Turlock, number 236.
And a comment? We just did Turlock last Thursday night. We did not have the pleasure of having Mrs. Nelson here with the music. Thank you.
And I'm also pleased to introduce the inspectors for the Masonic District. For the district of the 442nd Masonic District, Inspector Worshipful Romy DeMiles. Thank you. And Inspector at Large for the 4th Masonic District, Tom Bay. Would the presiding officers of any concordant bodies, Eastern Star or Job's Daughters, please stand and introduce themselves and their guests?
Conda Nelson, Worthy Matron, Series Chapter number 296, Ordered Eastern Star.
Doug Nelson, Worthy Patron, Series Chapter 296, Order of the Eastern Star.
Tom Bates. Warden Matron. Turlock.
Thank you. Themselves.
Yeah, you gotta stand up.
Jake Van Holman.
Eric Swanga, Senior Warden-elect, Patterson Lodge, number 488.
06, Master 2020.
And are there any presentations? Oh, wait. I would like the lodge to join me in a moment of silence to observe the brethren that we have lost, that have passed over the last 2 years that we have not been able to meet. Actually, we have lost. So please join me in a moment of silence.
Worshipful, I have a presentation. May I request Worshipful Brother Guy Cisco and Worshipful Brother Tom Bates to meet me at the west of the altar, please. Worshipful Brother Tom Bates and Pastmaster, and Worshipful Brother Guy Cisco, Pastmaster, on behalf of Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons of California, I'll present this certificate of appointment as the appointed officers coach for Smyrna Lodge number 532 to assist in teaching the ritual to the officers of the lodge and to assist in preparing them to qualify for advancement. Worshipful.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Worshipful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And here I would like to congratulate you, Worshipful, and to all the officers that are installed today. Thank you for your interest, for your gesture to serve the craft, and more particularly Smyrna Lodge, number 532. And I wish and hope that we're going to have a very good year this coming year. I hope together we're going to make it a better year for us. And to the installing team, I saw them last Thursday. I witnessed how they did. I said it was good. Now it is better. They did it really well. Thank you so much and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Would all of the 2022 officers with their spouses please form a greeting line in the east? And officers and the ceremony participants, please stay after for photos, and lodge officers will stay to close the lodge. The guests will please proceed to the dining room for soup and sandwiches. Love to see your faces.
Okay guys, so we're finally done. So they have some refreshments. Wow, that's a lot.
Lovely, what are we going to do over there?
The tablecloth around the tables.
You want to bless this week prepared for us?
Great architect, great architect of the universe. We really appreciate everything that's done today, the folks that have come and helped with this. And I would like to thank them or show our appreciation. Amen.
So let it be.
Everybody, have at it, ladies. Ladies first.
We're watching him. We'll put it down. Yep, put the pipes out.
Got the advertising without advertising.